Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. I noticed lately that a lot of you feel that you're stuck, or you feel that when you are evaluating your transition, you feel that you're either not making any progress, or if there is progress, it feels incredibly small. And a lot of my individual clients actually express the same feelings. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a video and help you explain why you may feel like you're stuck and help you look at your transition from a different point of view in order to really become a little bit more positive, become also more confident, and to realize that you are in fact making progress. So why do you feel stuck, or why do you feel like you're not making any progress? Well, in my opinion, one of the reasons why that happens is because you're looking at your transition. When you're analyzing if you're making any progress, you're looking at it as one snapshot in time. It's almost as if you are looking at your whole path of transition, but you're only focusing on what's happening to you either today, or what's happening to you within this week, or what happened to you within this month. And that's just one snapshot of time. And as a result, you're getting a very narrowed and very skewed view. What you need to realize is transition entails a lot of things. And for each one of you, it's going to be a lot of different things. Some of you are going to want to have a number of surgeries. Some of you might just want to have one or two surgeries. Some of you may not want to have any surgeries. Some of you may have other challenges. The challenges might be financial or resourceful or supportive or otherwise. So what you need to realize is that a transition is almost like a ball, right? So your goal, overall goal, is a ball. And the ball is comprised of what you really desire to achieve in terms of achieving that congruency. Now, that's your overall goal. But if we were to crack the ball open and spread it out, what you'll see is that that ball is comprised of a lot of mini steps in order to actually make up the entire goal, right? And the mini steps might be coming out, it might be finding a provider, it might be starting therapy, it might be scheduling surgeries, it might be starting to feminize or masculinize, it might be starting to presenting as yourself. All of those mini tasks on the way to your transition are going to be something that makes up the insides of the ball, and the ball is your overall goal. So what happens when you're actually assessing where you're at in terms of your transition? You're not really looking at the whole thing. You're not also looking what you already have achieved. You're only looking at the snapshot. It is as if you are cracking the ball open and you're narrowing down immediately where you're at in this point in your life, today or this week, and you're only seeing progress you made within that week. And the reality is that depending on what you do, chances are those progresses are going to be small because some things take time. For example, if you have been on hormones for 6 months and so far that's the only thing you were able to do, then when you look down, all you're going to see is that, oh my God, I have been on hormones for only, this week all I've done is I've been on hormones. But you're disregarding the fact that you actually accumulated 6 months worth of hormone regimen and hormone treatment. And those 6 months are going to add up to bodily physical changes. So this is the biggest problem why a lot of times we feel like we're stuck, because we're not, and this is basically for any goals in our lives that are made up of mini tasks in between. We tend to look at just a snapshot versus the entire thing. And the best way to really assess where your goal is at and whether you're truly stuck, instead of looking at a snapshot, is to look at trajectory of your goal. Every goal has a trajectory. Goals are like balls, right? We take a ball and we throw it and we hope it's going to land where we want it to land. And each ball is going to have a different trajectory. And when we think about goals, a lot of time we wish the trajectory would be a straight line, where my goal is to transition and everything I'm going to do is going to follow step by step, and nothing is going to happen, nothing wrong is going to happen, everything is going to go well, it's going to go in a straight line, and everything is going to work out for me. The reality is that that's not the trajectory that happens. Straight trajectory almost never happens to any of us because life happens. Because there's a lot of variables, a lot of external variables that tend to interfere with your trajectory. So that's another reason why you feel like you're stuck, because you are in your head, you're keeping the straight trajectory in mind, and when it doesn't line up, you feel like you're not making any progress. So for example, let's say that you've been wanting to you're ready for the surgery, you've been waiting for the surgery, you found a surgeon, you consulted with the surgeon, and then you filed your letters of approval with insurance, and then you find out that your insurance has denied. So suddenly your trajectory is no longer a straight line. And of course, you're going to feel defeated and you're going to feel stuck and you're going to feel like you're not making any progress. What I want you to do is I want you to realize that your trajectory is not going to be linear, and that's okay. It's actually a good thing that it's not going to be linear. Your trajectory is going to be more like a wavy line, right? Think about it like a weight loss. Weight loss is a common example because majority of people often, one way or another, want to lose a few pounds or maybe a little bit more than a few pounds. When you start on trajectory of a weight loss and your goal is a weight loss, are you always going to go in a straight line, meaning that your goal is to lose 20 pounds and 1 week you lose 1 pound and 1 pound more than 1 pound more than 1 pound more until those 20 weeks accumulate? No. Why? Life happens. Holidays happen. Stress happens. Something else happens. As a result, you don't eat as well as you planned it out. Injuries happen and you can't work out. So instead, your trajectory is never going to be straight. It's going to be, if I were actually to mark it down, it would be little dots, right? Some dots would go up. Then there's some dots that would go back down. Again, some dots go up. Some dots would go down. Some dots would go up. So the trajectory is not going to be straight, but here's the trick. If I were then to put a ruler up and to line up actually in terms of a slope, where do those all dots leading up to, the trajectory would be upwards. And that's what we want. We want your transition trajectory to move upwards. The pace, yes, I know that a lot of you wish that it would happen faster. The reality is that life happens again. So as long as it's moving upwards, that's the key element here. We don't want our trajectory to be status quo, steady, meaning nothing happening at all. And one of the things you definitely don't want is you don't want it to go downwards into regression. You want it to go in upwards. And if upwards is going to take some time, but still everything you do accumulates to upwards, in my opinion, that's not positive. That's definitely a positive and not negative. So just like with weight loss, right? If I were to look at my trajectory of weight loss, and if I were to see all those dots and some going down, I could probably freak out and I could probably say, oh my God, look, I lost a pound and then I gained 2 pounds and then I lost a pound and then I gained 2 pounds. But if I were to stay consistent and still maintain on my path and stayed on my path, I would have continued still, even though sometimes I would gain weight, I would still actually end up losing weight and get to my goal. So the key is overall trajectory, and you want your trajectory to be going upwards. And chances are, I bet you, your trajectory is going upwards because you're doing something. Even if you're just on hormones, that's trajectory upwards because those changes going to accumulate and they're going to produce bodily changes. Or maybe you're doing something else. And maybe right now you really wish you could do something, but you can't, but you're thinking about it, but maybe you're doing other things, that's still an upward trajectory. So I want you to keep that in mind because a lot of times we forget that even though right now it may feel like nothing is happening, if we were to look at the whole picture versus a snapshot, we are actually moving toward our goals. And that's the key here. The key is to keep moving towards your goals. Remind yourself, it's better to very slowly progress towards your goals if it's going to be at a slow pace than never progress to your goals at all, than always having just completely flat line or regression. So any movement upward, no matter how small, is going to accumulate into much bigger changes. So remind yourself of that. If you're feeling stuck right now and if you're feeling like you're not making any progress, take a piece of paper and a pen. Start writing down everything you already done in relationship to your transition, no matter how small it is. Are you practicing your voice? Are you researching doctors if you want to have any surgeries in your area? Are you going to therapy if you need to be in therapy? Are you coming out to loved ones around you? Have you started the legal process of changing your name? Start writing down all of those many things that comprise transition and start planning out what you already have completed. And even if one of the things that you have completed is as simple as you are thinking positive thoughts about your gender identity and you are thinking and planning inside of your head, that is still trajectory upwards versus being in denial or versus not doing anything about it at all. So look at what you're actually doing, look at the broader picture and ask yourself, is your overall trajectory going up? If it's going up, I say that you're making progress. You're definitely making progress. A lot of times it does not feel like we're making progress because we're, again, looking at only snapshot moment in time. But overall, the progress is there. So hopefully this is helpful. Comment below. Let me know where your trajectory is at right now. Is your trajectory a straight line? Is it upward? I hope it's upwards. Or is it regressing for some reason? And if it's regressing, maybe evaluate what may be causing regression. So comment below, share, let me know. I love reading your comments, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.